Hi, this is Kathy. Thanks for joining me. I'm coming at you from the suburbs west of Chicago. Drop me a line, let me know where you're viewing from. Just trying to get things straightened out here. Once again, this dropped a little bit, so let me try and get things aligned properly. Whatever. Anyway, I have an interesting project tonight, and I want to tell you a little bit about it and also show you how to do something. Let me share this with my VIP group real quickly here, and then we'll get started. I'm coming at you from the suburbs west of Chicago, where we've had a little bit of snow, maybe about 3 inches or so, I don't know. And it's cold, whatever, and it's going to get colder the next week or so, so that's not going to be pleasant, but hey, it's winter. Winter in the Chicago suburbs, what do I expect, right? So the Sparkle and Shine was from a few months ago, obviously for Christmas, and I'm going to reuse this board and base. This is our board and base. It happens to be the white board. It's a chalkboard, and it could be used vertically or horizontally. I'm just going to take off my little bit of embellishments here that I had put on this because they won't be appropriate for what I'm going to do. So I'm going to show you how to remove this design from this board. It's a double-sided board, and I obviously could do the other side, but Christmas is past and I want to start gearing up for spring and other things. So I'm going to spritz this with a little bit of water. Now, this is just a chalkboard, and this is actually distilled water. I always have distilled water in my mister in case I need to thin down some of my paste. And what I'm going to use is actually one of our board eraser. Haha, that's where it gets its name. It could be used for many different things. I use the board eraser also to clean my transfers, just not on the adhesive side. And they come 2 to a pack. And they're round, I don't know, let's see, probably about 3.5 inches in diameter. And the easiest way to remove an existing design from a chalkboard, is to use the board eraser. And generally I'll wet it a little bit, or I could run it under the faucet at the sink. Obviously now I'm not at the sink, so I'm going to use my mister. And I've misted this, and now I'm going to go over it with my board eraser and remove the image. If you don't have a board eraser, you can use a paper towel, but it does require a little bit more elbow grease, and as you can see, look at how quickly that went. Let me grab a paper towel and clean some of this up. I noticed some of the chalk paste spilled over the side here, so I want to, of course, clean that up too. Make sure I have no drips or anything. Now, how quick and easy was that? I absolutely love the idea that we could reuse our surfaces. And if you have any streaks on your board, let me kind of get some of the water off. Here's what you do with the streaks. Our fuzzing towels come with one side that's terry, one side that's microfiber. Just go over your board with the microfiber side, and it'll get rid of the streaks. That's it. Simple, simple. So now I'm ready to reuse this surface with another transfer. Saves me from storing things and saves me from purchasing extra. Hi, Vicki. Oh, goodness, yes. Don't respond until you stop driving. Okay, so let me show you what I'm going to put on here, and I've been thinking about this, and when I first saw it, I knew exactly what it reminded me of. This transfer is called Don't Just Stand There. And when I saw it, It reminded me of something my mom used to tell us kids all the time. Not quite, don't just stand there. I mean, don't you really, doesn't it drive you crazy when someone just stands there and watches you struggling with something, or moving furniture, or trying to open up a door with your hands full or whatever? Oh my goodness, that makes me nuts. But my mom always used to tell us, don't go empty-handed. And it's kind of the whole thing with the just stand there, use your time more efficiently, whatever, you know. Her don't go empty-handed actually came from the Mildred Pierce movie, not the most recent one. I've seen both, but the older one I think is better in my opinion. But Mildred Pierce worked as a waitress, and the idea was don't go empty-handed, be more efficient with your time and your steps, save yourself a little bit of work. So she used to tell us that all the time when we go downstairs. If she needed something from the basement, like some, I don't know, a can of peas or something, she'd tell us, bring it up when we come up. Don't go empty-handed. If there's anything that has to go upstairs when you come up, bring it up. If there's anything that has to go downstairs when you're going down, of course, take it with you. So anyway, kind of, I don't know, it just reminded me of that. So I'm going to show you something here. This is actually a transfer from a new manufacturer, and I have never used anything from the new manufacturer yet, so this is going to be a little bit of a learning process. There is a sticker here that warns that the copyright information on this transfer is in the mesh silk, which normally in our transfers it has not been, and in future releases it will not be. But for the time being, any transfer that this impacts, they've put a little sticker on to remind us to be careful not to chalk over the copyright information, because it'll go through the mesh and onto the surface beneath it. So I'll show you how to prevent that from happening. Obviously you could be very careful and very mindful while you're chalking and avoid it if the design isn't too close. Okay, a couple other things about our new manufacturers. Oh my goodness, I haven't felt this. They're like super, super smooth, and they feel it feels very, very thin. And what I've heard is it's almost see-through, so if you're putting it down on something and trying to place it, it'll be much easier to place. So what I'm going to do here, and I could probably be careful enough, or I'm doing this on chalkboard so I could really erase it if I accidentally hit the copyright information. I'm going to just use a little bit of placement tape once I find the beginning of it here. Here we go. I'm going to just cover it up with that. So that way, if I do get any chalk there, it won't go through the mesh onto the surface below. So that's how you get around that issue. And it's the same if you're leaving off part of a transfer, you don't want the design, or you don't want a certain word or whatever, just do the same thing. Just cover it up with a little bit of placement tape. Now I haven't removed this from the backer, so I'm going to do that. It's kind of strange feeling. It's a little bit different. It's not unpleasant or anything. It's just, it's thinner. Whoa. Okay, so look at this. It really is thinner. If you're used to our older transfers, you can see through this. Isn't this absolutely amazing? Everything I've heard about it has been very, very positive. So I need to fuzz this first. See, I almost forgot to fuzz. I get so excited, but it's like, it's see-through. Can you see through it? Boy, that'll be much easier placing it on cutouts and things like that. How cool. Okay, so I'm going to fuzz it, put it on my fuzzing cloth, and just lift it up. Oops, I had it on the wrong side. Nice, huh? Okay, on the terry side, of course. And just fuzz it a little bit, because the fuzzing, deliberately applying a little bit of lint, basically reduces the adhesiveness of the transfer a little bit. Wow, I'm just so excited about this. This is so cool. So I'm going to place it up at the top, line it up. and lay it down. And the reason I'm putting it up near the top is because my board, my chalkboard here, is going to fit in a little board and base, and it's going to about bottom half inch or so will be in the bottom of the base. So I don't want it, my image or my wording, to be down here where it gets hidden by the slot. And I don't have this quite straight, so let me try this again. It's a different feel. It's interesting. It's not bad. It's just, it's odd that it feels so smooth. That's, I think, the thing that's throwing me. It's not like our other transfers are rough. It just feels, I don't know, kind of smooth and silky. And I don't think I have, oops, I've got a little air bubble there. Let me lift that up and get rid of it. Oh, you know what? Air bubbles will show up much easier to see where they are. And I've got this crooked, of course, right? Okay, let me pay attention to what I'm doing and quit yammering for a second. I want to get it straight from left to right. Wow, kind of cool. Anyway, I'm going to use the Dusky Blue for this. And grab a little squeegee here. For some reason, I always gravitate towards my mini squeegees. They're just more comfortable in my hand. We have lots of different size squeegees. We have a small, which is more than twice as large as that. And then, of course, we have the squeegees on our detail tool and multi-tool that we could use for tight spaces. But for this one, a mini is going to be absolutely fine. So I'm just reaching in. Well, I didn't stir this, but let me mix it up. It seemed a little watery. Okay, I'm just reaching in, grabbing some paste, and then applying it. Oh my goodness, it glides over this. There's like absolutely no resistance. Wow, is that weird? I never had to press hard to get the paste through the silk screen before. I mean, it just, you know, it was very light pressure. But this is very, it's different. The feel is different, and I bet we'll use even less chalk paste with these. Wow. Let's see what it looks like when I lift it up. I might have had an air bubble on that S. I didn't see it, but it just seemed like the paste wasn't going through quite the way it normally would. A little bit of paste does go a long way. Wow. It's just, it's just weird, but it's cool. Okay, so I'm putting the excess paste back in the jar. And I know I just had my detail tool here. Here we go. I think I'd have a little bit of a problem getting underneath that with my fingernails. So I'm going to just lift it up a little bit up at the top until I could gain purchase here. And I know I've got a piece of dog fur here. I've got a husky, so unfortunately, she's a sweetie, but sometimes her fur is all over the place. Oops. Always lift from the top, the bottom, the left or the right. You never want to pull on an angle and potentially distort your transfer. Oh my goodness. I've got a little bit of wet paste here that I must have gone off the edge somewhere. Let me grab a little piece of paper towel. I could clean that up right now before it dries. Oops, it's already dried. Well, then I could just use my nail to scratch it off. Oh my, this is even clearer and more defined than our normal transfers. I just can't believe this. I'm so pleasantly surprised. Anyway, don't just stand there. It's a little reminder for when I'm struggling with someone that, hey, lend a hand. Or if you see someone who needs a little bit of help, don't just stand there. Lend them a hand. Oh, goodness. I hope you're having a wonderful week. It's been a little strange around here. I'm feeling a little better. I've been under the weather a bit and just struggling with energy levels, which I don't know if it's the cold or I was bad enough that I actually took a COVID test the other day and I was negative. I'm thinking I've only been to a doctor's office with Mom. You haven't been anywhere, so I don't think I could have caught anything, but doctor's office, hey, maybe, right? And of course it was negative, so I think it's just been lack of sleep for me, which is my norm. What can I say? But he actually, Mom, she was snoozing late this afternoon, and I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna just put my feet up and just rest for like 15 minutes. I knocked out for over 2 hours, and she let me sleep. Such a sweetie. Anyway, so I hope you're having a wonderful week. I just absolutely love this. Well, you know what? Let's clean it up and see how they clean up, right? Why not? I put the transfer on the side of my table. Let me grab it. Now, our transfers won't stick to this mat, but I usually spray the back of my transfer with water before I clean it up, just because sometimes I occasionally use a glass mat, and of course our transfers would stick to glass. I mean, it'll stick very strongly to glass. So I'm just in the habit of giving it a little spritz with water on the back before I lay it down. And I'm going to pull off this placement tape. And I could reuse it, but I'm just going to throw it away. So, and give it a little spritz on the front. Grab my board eraser. Oh my. This is amazing. Oh my goodness. It's clean. I usually finish up with a disinfecting wipe. Can you see how you can see through it and see the mat underneath it? Wow, it's partially transparent, translucent. Oh my goodness. And look at that board eraser caught almost all the paste. Now let me flip it over and do the reverse side. I would think it's the same process. You don't want to leave paste sitting in your transfer for long because you don't want it to dry in the silk screen. But I have to admit, this cleans up much easier, and not like our other ones are tough. I mean, this whole process of chalking is so easy, isn't it? But this is even easier. Okay, so I'm just going in one direction. Oops, yeah, right. One direction to remove any of the lint that I deliberately applied here. Oops. I have to be a little bit more gentle, I suppose, here, right? Not in such a hurry. But it looks like it's clean. If I'm ever unsure, I just kind of hold it up to the light to see, and my transfer looks good. There's a little moisture, of course, in the silk screen. I don't know if you could see this. Oops. But it's nice and clean already. And I'm just going to let it set it aside to dry, sticky side up, and then when it's dry, I'll put the backer on it, put it back in its little envelope, and I'm done. How quick and easy was this? Isn't this cool? So simple. So this will take another minute or two to dry. Remember, our chalk paste goes on liquid but dries to a hard finish. So once this is dry, I could run my hands over it and it's not going anywhere unless I moisten it up with water and then kind of give it a little scrub. Well, thank you so much for watching tonight. I really appreciate it. One thing that you might want to take a good peek at right now is and I'll put the link in the comments. We have a flash sale, 50% off our Halloween, where did that come from? Our Valentine designs. And so I'll put the link so that you can check them out, but it's a really, really good deal. It's some surfaces and definitely transfers, so that's out there. And the other thing that's going on is until the end of the month, normally to sign up to be a designer, it's generally been $99. And we do have a special where you could sign up to become a designer for $9.99. And that gives you access to being a designer and to the discounts and perks and whatever else. It does not actually give you any supplies. Our perks pack gives you the supplies, and we normally have a perks pack, or our regular kit, if you will, for $99. This month, to the end of this month, and from what I understand, this is it. This is the last time they're offering something like this. You can get the kit or the perks pack, called the premium perks pack, for $59, which is an excellent deal because it includes $265 in retail supplies. There is the Aiden Premium Chalkboard 9x12. It's beautiful, high quality board, distressed. There's our tiered tray. There's the tiered tray essentials. There's a bunch of paste packets. There is the multi-tool. I think there's some placement tape. I don't know. If you want any information about it, just make a comment below and I'll actually send you to a little video that I have about it. But it is a great deal. Whether you want to be a designer and actually sell and teach, or do craft fairs or whatever, that's fine. Or if you just want to save money on your supplies, you're welcome to it. But if you need to know any more information about it or whatever, just drop me a line and I'll send you to a video that tells you all about it. No obligation whatsoever. Everyone's welcome. Thanks again for watching. See you soon.